Hello, hello. Welcome to Unleashed with Kimberly, a conversation for insight and intelligence. I am so excited today to have Darla Delane with me. We have the best conversations and she's so brilliant. I'm just going to bring her right on. Hi.
Hi. Oh my God. It's so great to be back. I can't wait. Been looking forward.
I am so excited you're here. Why don't you just start? Because I didn't even introduce you. I just brought you on. So just share with the world what it is that you do.
Absolutely. I am the founder of She CEO, and I help a powerhouse woman skyrocket consistent growth without working harder. That seems to be the little kicker there. And so I work with private clients and groups, and we really work to give them quantum leaps in their mindset, in their business, to be able to really do things from a place where synchronicity drops in and coincidence drops in. So we've got momentum helping us so we really can work less, make more, have more time. And it has been amazing seeing what's happening with my clients.
I love it. And yeah, it's just amazing how I love that you broke down all quarters of the year. I think that's such an important thing to really bring to the forefront of the conversation when it comes to business, because we just think goal, what we want to look at the end of the year. Meanwhile, we can have these steps to get there and break it into the quarters. And I love that.
Yeah. And our steps as a side hustle or starting a business tend to be month by month. And I used to be a math teacher. So that makes no sense when months have different amounts of days and different amounts of weeks. Like, why is February being compared to July? Like, there's a whole nother week in July. Like, that doesn't make sense. It's also too short of a period of time that by the time the month starts, if you have a vision of what you want, about a weekend, you start worrying you won't make it. But 3 months, that gives you enough time to get up, get going. And as you average it, see that you've gotten there. It's also 13 weeks, which is a feminine number, which is awesome. And it's the same. Every quarter is 13 weeks. It's all equal and the same, which is really, really cool. And if you'll look at major corporations, it's quarterly numbers that they look at. And so as we move into stepping into being the CEO of our legacy business, our empire, our full-time purpose-driven business, we also are acting as CEOs in our business by doing that.
Yeah, I love it. And it's interesting that it's 13 weeks.
I know.
But what's so great about that is, like you said, it's equal. Each quarter is always 13 weeks. So it's not that month to month fretting over only 28 days versus 31. I love it.
Yeah. And I feel like there's gotten to be this mindset around a 10K month thing that literally is the very thing causing the resistance to allowing that to even happen. It's like it became such a big thing and such a goal. We're losing our joy in our business. We're losing what we started it for in the first place. And we're all outcome focused on this thing. And that means something like I'm successful if, it's like, no, it's the number somebody pulled out of a hat and started talking about, and everybody jumped on, started talking about without really investigating. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. So 30K in a quarter, totally. That's a great vision. So that way you're not so much pressure on when you're starting and finishing. Like, you could start off making 30K that first week and then kind of relax throughout, and you've done it. Make a little more. But that monthly thing, I don't know. There was something about it that just last year was my question at year. And I was like, why am I doing that? It's like,
I love that. I love that perception change, because it's great marketing. 10K in 30 days, fabulous marketing, but it puts so much pressure. However, people can do it and they have done it, but the pressure for the majority to be able to reach those goals is a completely different thing.
Absolutely. It's a lot of the clients that I work with were on that trajectory of this. I can't get the 10, I'll get a 12 and then a 4 and then a 0 and then a this. And it was like there was this thing there. Well, what's happened is within our first quarter, they've gotten about 35K, somewhere around there. Most of my clients that were at that making some money already space make about 35 to 38K that first quarter. And then I'll go back and point out, oh, that was more than 10K a month. So that. Then the next quarter, there's this consistent piece every month, plus this jump that happens. And most of them are hitting somewhere between 50 and 60 the next quarter. And so it's like, okay, did you need to have 10K a month, or are you cool with making 60K this month, this quarter? You know, it's like, oh, that's fine. But the consistency begins to happen. And it's kind of like a hindsight thing now, rather than the thing that we cry over every day, which is really been cool.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Completely changes the perspective.
It does. That gives you that shift you need.
Yeah.
Brain hack shift out of the guilt you've been doing over the 10K month.
Yeah, because those 10K months are, even 5K, sometimes people are just dreading it because they're like in panic the whole month.
Total failure if I didn't. And if I did, I only got to get happy about it for about 10 seconds till I'm on to the next month.
Right. Oh, yeah.
No, let's stay happy with the whole quarter and make even more money. That's like much better. Yeah.
And I'm thinking you have, like you said, if you make it in that first week of the quarter, it's just gravy.
Yeah. Everything else is just awesome. Like afterwards. And you don't have any pressure. And most likely, if you do make it in the first part, you're going to make way more, because now you've let go that resistance to, I don't have it. And you can just soar from there.
Oh, that's so good. And it takes away guilt, takes away shame. It takes away beating yourself up for not doing it. And it gives you that grace, that time to be able to hit those numbers. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a kind of a rule inside our group. No shame, no blame. It's like, it just is. And you can investigate it.
Yeah.
And you get to choose how you feel about it. And if you're feeling below that line of okay, then let's clean that out, because the only alignment is with all as well. And so when we're not feeling that, there's some meaning we've put on it and we're just choosing to suffer over it. And so it's like, oh, I wanted, let's say they wanted 60K and they made 55. It's like, okay, no shame, no blame. Let's just look and see what happened. Oh, you didn't count this free thing you got, this free marketing package you got worth $10,000 that you didn't have to pay for. You did make that. Like it's like there's always somehow we get what we want, but it gets to you through the path of least resistance. Definitely. So wherever you have the least resistance to it coming in, that's how you get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And even if you made 55 and you were shooting for 60, oh my God, that's amazing. Like celebrate. We got to learn to celebrate.
Those folks usually, like the first week of the next quarter, they'll kick out some crazy numbers. You see, it's all past thought. So your thoughts just hadn't, the momentum of the old just hadn't slowed down enough. And it's like, oh, you don't want it if it comes tomorrow? It's like, yeah.
You have to wait till that 30th day, right? I love it.
I know.
Oh, it's so good. That's so good. It's a total game changer, really.
It totally is. What it really is, and I talk about this kind of a little more inside my groups, but it's really a different business model. So the business model we've all been following is a mind-led plan plus predict equals a known outcome, time and space, masculine energy, massive action model. That's what we've been following. Yeah. And for some of us, we tried that and we were not aligned with it. It didn't feel good. We didn't like it. If we got the outcome, it didn't feel good. If we didn't, it just felt bad. So this is a heart-led, infinite possibility, right? high vibration, feel good all the time, detach from the outcome business model. And the quantum shifts, quantum things that are happening. Like I have a client that was in that, I have the little quantum leap call that's every Thursday, and that's just a planning call, intention planning. It's just an audio only. She got in that last quarter and ended up making her first 10K in that. And so she signed up for the VIP, but she did the concierge with the private. In 2 weeks, she's already completed all of her quarter vision.
Wow.
She had 15K come in. She's already got $200,000 quotes she's getting signed off on. Got her car. 2 weeks it's happened. Because the momentum was already going, and she was holding her vision back, comparing it to the time and space thing, rather than what do you want to have happen in the next 3 months. And so we're having to stretch because she just wasn't used to really asking, really getting in touch with, really knowing that she could vision that for herself. So it's pretty amazing. It's a whole different way of doing it. When you go to infinite possibility, now you're a time traveler. Like, you can do whatever you want. It can take as long as you want or as short as you want. Like, it's not magic. It's bigger than that. It's like, I don't know really the word, but it's like they've been talking about this feeling ecstatic. There's this feeling of ecstasy in the vision and doing what you want when you want, and all that you want dropping in, but in exciting and surprising ways that is kind of, we don't have words for. We haven't functioned at that level of business, right? So it's just this kind of, what's happening, which has been so exciting for them. And of course, so rewarding for me. I am just like, flying high watching what's happening with them. It's been amazing.
Yeah. When you're talking and sharing about that, I keep thinking it's like you're jumping into your business with joy, because you are pure potentiality.
Yes.
What a mind shift.
Your only job is just to allow it in.
Huh, weird. That gave me chills.
Oh,
no, it can't be that simple.
It is, and it's not. It is, but because we are so smart, the women we work with are really, really smart. So their brains, their fear has to be even smarter to hold them where they are. There's nothing to be mad at. It's like our brains are programmed to keep us alive, and it just thinks anything new that's future, it doesn't know. It only knows the past. So it's like, warning, Will Rogers, there's something new happening, and your brain needs to stop you. And if you don't stop, it'll go to what that deepest little trigger is in you. It'll find that thing to make you stop. What is that guilt thing? What is that meaning? What was that thing that will make them stop moving ahead? And when we recognize that and we have tools to work through those, we can get excited when those come out, because like, oh, didn't know that junk was running things. Now I can get rid of it. But it is that simple, but it's also, it can be kind of painful in what we've allowed ourselves to perceive out of what's happened to us. And so now it's become a fact. It's not, but it's become one. So now we have to change that. Yes, exactly.
I love it. It's interesting to think about how your brain's like, oh, that's new.
I know.
We don't want to try that because that could be, it's like, that's scary. I can't do it. I'm going to die.
It always goes there. If you keep going down the road with it, it'll end up, and then I'll die.
Yeah. And I love that this is becoming the conversation now, because if you sit back and you go, okay, that's what I'm afraid of, like, that's what's holding me back. And you can really understand where those beliefs came from or what's causing you to not move forward. Then you can go, okay, wait a minute. I can do it. It's going to be okay. If I fall down, I'm going to get back up.
Yes, exactly. Well, and it's pretty big what you just said about that it's becoming part of a conversation. I mean, some of us were burned at the stake for saying things like this back in the day, right?
Oh yeah.
This way of heart-led is a feminine energy. We're not throwing out masculine structure. We're just saying it works better, easier, and happier if you'll let the feminine energy lead the masculine energy. So in what I do, it's like 3/4 of it is all about this feminine energy piece, and 1/4 of it are the structures that support us and protect us that we want. We don't want to get rid of it, but it's not the end all be all. That funnel is not your business.
Yeah.
It's a structure you can use if you want, if you're excited about it, to get more business, but it's not your business. That social media account is not your business. If you want to use it because you like it and you're excited to talk about stuff, awesome, but it's not your business. So it's the structure and the strategy is not the business. You are. Your heart, your soul, that infinite connection to all that is, that's where your business is.
Oh, I love that. Gave me chills again,
I know.
girl.
I used to say I'm lucky, but now I'm saying I am so talented that I have created.
I love it.
Created a business where I sit in high chill all day long, excited. It's like,
so good.
yeah.
It's so good because it, like you said, it was all the masculine. It's very structured. It's this, and this. You can still do all of that, but now you're doing it in your energy, in how you feel, bringing that feminine goodness to it.
Exactly.
And making it really yours.
A good template. I was an algebra teacher. I love a good formula and a good template if I'm resonating with it. So it's like workshops. You and I love those, right? Like that's being on video doing this. We're home, right? There are some people that don't like it, and that's not something they enjoy, but yet they think they should do it because you and I like to do it, right? And we have great businesses. We look happy. Oh, I should do that. No, it's just like somebody thinks they should write a book. You don't have to write a book, but if you want to, awesome. Or you can organize a bunch of awesome women and put books together, right? Like there's ways to do it that you love doing. It's like you love relationship. You're so awesome at it. So your books are all about you creating a relationship with your authors. And it's just, otherwise it was, no, Kim, you're supposed to write the book. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, look what's happened from that. Like, it's just so much has come from it because you came from your place of joy and your place of what you wanted to. If you had listened to the shoulds, that wouldn't have gotten created like that.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So stop shooting all over yourself, basically.
The Goddesses Among Us book. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And it keeps going. It's international bestseller now too. So, and it keeps going.
And then of course we've got Goddesses Among Us 2 coming up.
Yeah, it's so awesome. It's expanding and it has this whole new thing. But you're right. When you're in alignment with you, just because somebody else is doing something and they are killing it and looking successful and feeling successful, you think, and because there's always the background, we don't know. But yeah. But when you're able to go, okay, I don't have to do that. I can do something that I'm really good at, passionate about, and want to do and stay in my lane. I don't have to write a book. I don't have to go on TV. I don't have to do these things.
Right. And only, here's where we get a little radical. We only do what we want to do. Only. Yeah. So that makes it an inspired action. Right? And we only do what we're inspired to do. So someone says, well, I don't like to do dishes, so I'm not going to do them. Well, it's about shifting, wanting to do it then. So do you like the outcome of a clean kitchen and not bugs crawling all around because they've been sitting there? Yeah, I like that. So I do want a clean kitchen. So now I can get a clean kitchen in a bunch of ways. I could hire somebody. If I'm living with someone, they might like to do it more, or I might turn on music and dance while I clean the kitchen because I'm excited about what's going to happen when I'm done. So we can still do only what we want, but we're starting to watch when we're doing things we think we should do or need to do or have to do, and either don't do it, change how you feel about it, or do it in a different way. And now we get more time, our energy's higher, your vibration is higher. If your vibration's higher, you're attracting in stuff that you created there. And now washing the dishes becomes the best thing you can do that day because you're
inspired action. It completely shifts how you think, because you want the end goal. You want that clean kitchen. Feels so good when you walk into a clean kitchen.
Yes.
And now there's just steps to make that happen.
Exactly.
But you can change how you feel about it and how you do it. Throw on some music.
Absolutely.
Grab a glass of wine. Every 10 dishes, sip, whatever.
Exactly. It's how can I do this in a way that I want to do it? And that's the only how that you have to worry about. Because other than that, if you're staying in your high vibration, you got the little molecules that, going at that level, it's all going to come attracting in. But it's about your quality of life. It's about joy in your life. It's about how are you spending your day? How much are you allowing yourself to do what you want and be who you want and have what you want? And how much are you choosing to suffer over? And that becomes how we're honing and mastering more and more every day. And that's all through some retraining of the brain.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. It literally, all these pieces are shifting your perspective, changing how you feel about doing even the mundane things like dishes.
Exactly.
You're living in joy. Like you're just happy.
And that's really all we want. It's like, Abraham Hicks says, it's like, it's not the thing. It's how you think the thing will make you feel that you want. So you want the thing because it's going to make you feel that way. Well, what if you felt that way first? Sometimes you don't even want the thing anymore. Sometimes you do, and it's an added bonus. But if that's the goal, is to feel that way, once you felt that way, you met your goal. You're done. You get to do it again and again. And now your whole life is better. Your relationships are better. You're much more allowing abundance to come in. You're allowing health. You're allowing all of those pieces that are attached to that well-being of all that is, which is like, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, so good. Oh, I love what you're saying, because when I was thinking so many things at one time. Like, it was so good. But you were creating this space. I just remembered exactly what I wanted to say. But if you think about it as if it's already done, already happened, and be in that energy of it, and then you decide, you know what, I don't need that anymore, or I don't need to do that anymore. Holy cow, you are literally living in just this full space of your power.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
Yes. This is all about remembering we are sovereign individuals connected to all that is through love. That's it. And so as a sovereign individual, if I want this because I think it'll make me feel that way, the longer I feel that way, I may have gotten what I wanted. But in the end, if we're just looking at the outcome of the thing, when we get it, we feel that way for a hot minute and then it's gone. This way, we feel that way, that eager anticipation of it. It's like planning a trip or something like these. So that eager anticipation of it is just as much fun as when you get there and are doing it. And so now you are just creating this life. You are already creating the life you live. Yeah. So why not do it in a way that you really want, right? Like you're already the one that is allowing in what you're allowing in at whatever you can, the resistance to it is. So, why not?
I love it. I love it. It completely, I keep going back to this. It completely shifts your mind and your perspective on not only your business, but your relationships and your whole life all the way around.
Everything. It does. It really does. And some of the women that I'm working with, I have to put them on a work detox. So it's like, because they're so in the momentum of the massive action. They're like, what do I do next? What do I do next? I'm like, nothing. Go feel happy. It's like, no. What do I do next? Go feel happy. And I'll be like, no work for a week. What? It's like, and then as that momentum slows down a bit, then it's like, okay, now go do something you really want to do. And then we can kind of get them. Some, I put them on a money talk detox. Oh my God. Well, is that going to make me money? How am I going to make money like that? Who's going to come? How many clients can I get and make the money? How am I going to make the money? And it's like, dude, nobody wants to hire somebody who just wants them for the money. Like, that's just this nasty kind of vibration. But if you already know, because you visioned it, you created it, you already know it is, you have the money. No, you may not can see it in your account, just don't look. You have the money. Now go work your business like you would if the money was already in your account. It starts dropping in. Yeah, because you've taken that pressure off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Notice, whatever you notice is going to expand. So if you notice you don't have the money, you're going to get more of not having the money. So if you notice that you already are abundant in other areas, that abundant begins to expand.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And money's energy. So if you just
totally everything
be in flow.
I didn't really realize, I did take a lot of science, but I didn't take like physics, and I certainly didn't take, quantum physics. And I really didn't realize how little matter there really is in the universe. There's like this tiny amount of real matter. Everything else is energy held together, holding these teeny tiny little pieces of matter together. It's all energy around this one little thing. We're essentially holograms. We think we're solid, but we're not.
Right.
And so when you really get into the science of it, it backs you up. Like 100% backs you up in, oh, well, if it's energy and the vibrating energy attracts the same one, then boom, that's how it's coming together. So it's good. Like, oh, so now I work on my energy, and our energy comes out of us through our emotion. So you have how somebody said, that's fuel for thought. Your emotion is your fuel. Mm-hmm. Thought brings an emotion, and that is your energy. That's your fuel. It's either low. Everybody does do it. They just don't realize they're doing it. Yeah. So when they drop down and notice, I'm feeling anxious. I'm so anxious about that, starts growing. The longer they think about how anxious they are, the more it can grow into a full-blown anxiety attack. And then it'll drop even further down. And it just grows. And that's what we're doing. And we don't even notice it. But we do it. Everybody's great at it because that's how we do it. But now we're starting to manipulate it for our good. Yeah. And when we're doing that for our good, it's for everyone's good. Yeah. That's how you change the world. Yeah. Oh. You don't got to fight anybody. You don't got to break anything down. It's like it's all going to come crumbling down once the fear gets less and less momentum. Yeah. Yeah. And if people just realized that they could run their relationships and their business like that, exactly, life-changing. Because it's not just about you. When you are in alignment for your relationships and your business, that trickles out to the world. Everything. Because it hits that person that then goes to that. And it's everywhere. Yeah. I love it. I know. Super powerful. I know. It's so good. We're like, yay! We're all buzzing. We're flying over. We're raising the vibration. Bottom field. We'll be back in a minute. Or maybe not. Oh, I love it. Okay. So 4 quarters in the year. Yes. How do you break them down for people? Awesome. Is there something different from quarter 1 to quarter 3 that they can do? Like, is there a shift? Like, how do you help people to break down the quarters? Well, first of all, everybody just starts where they are. whenever that is where you're starting doing that. But each quarter, I run through the 4 pillars that are going to help you get to that space of a higher vibration where you're getting more of what you want. So we have the third eye mindset. So it's this 3 areas of where your mindset's going through the third eye where there's no limits, right? It's like it's boundless, it's limitless. And so now we are working on cleaning up our mindset that has limits to it, that has rules around it, that has fear attached to it. So there's a couple of different areas we do there. And then the second one is the time traveler business model, which is where the intention planning is that we do in the Quantum Leap group. And that is where we debrief the week before, plan the next week, but we start with a vision. Then how did that make us feel? That's your intention. That's your number one job. Feel that way because you created it. It's done, but it got created in this feeling, right? And then it's inspired action goals, which are actions you have control over. So your vision might be money or relationship or clients or whatever, but your goals are things you have control over, and it's only what you want to do. And so now that's how that girl did in 2 weeks, her whole quarter's worth of stuff. She just basically time traveled, right? So it's about these quantum leaps you can take. So that's the second part. And then the third one has to do with your connection correction. So we're all connected in love and appreciation, that vibration. But we detach from that connection when we start focusing on the outcome. And so it's all about correcting the connection and getting back to that connection that keeps you totally connected with all that is abundance, infinite possibility, right? And then the fourth one is the supportive systems. And so now you're looking at what are systems that have you do things better, faster, easier? What are all the systems you have in place that really are supporting what you want to do in your business? So we kind of cycle through, there's like 12 of those. So we cycle through each quarter those. So you start where you are and you've got to work on all of it through all the areas. So we cover the admin area of your business, the marketing or lead generating piece, the sales or what we might call conversion, where you're converting them from a lead to a sale, and then your deliverables, which is when you are after the sale. And so we run all 4 of those pillars through all of those areas of our business and all the areas of our life. So we've got our relationship, your health, your wealth, and yourself. And so we run all of that through. Where's your mindset? Where's your time traveling go? Where's your connection? What are the supportive systems? Through all of those each quarter. So we set a quarter vision. We have an intention. We have our inspired action. And then each week we're working on that during the quarter. In the 13th week, we debrief that quarter and plan the next and celebrate and get all excited about the next. And in your business, that's what your focus is. It's like, what do I want to, what's my vision for my business this quarter? And how do I want to do that? And that's where your strategy and plans all come into place. And so each quarter you're doing that. And then at the end of the year, you do the same thing. You debrief that year and plan your next year on it. So for a business, it just depends on where you are. It's like I have women that are kind of just starting new businesses. They may be running an old one. Some have a business they're really scaling. Wherever you are, you've got to look at where your mindset is. You got to fix those connections. You're going to have to start quantum leaping and allowing there to be some unknown infinite possibility there. And then you got to clean up those structures. Stop doing what you don't want to do. Only do what you want to do. And when you hear something you might like to do, try it out. If you don't like it, do it a different way, change the meaning, or don't do it again. And that's, we just keep cycling these same things through because it is that simple.
So good. And that's what's going to scale your business.
Exactly. And it totally does, because you are really scaling each quarter and you start to see the skyrocket part first, then the consistency of that follows with it. And you turn around and go, oh my gosh, like I've got a run rate of over 10K a month right now. And I'm hitting like 20 and 30K months because I've got this consistency plus this skyrocketing growth, and I'm working less.
Weird.
Yeah. And happier.
Yes. Inspired action. It keeps you are being in a power spot.
Totally.
You are sitting in your true power when you are taking inspired action, because that's what's in alignment for you. And I love what you're talking about with the consistency.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, why am I doing these other things? Because I saw it work with someone else. It's like, when that's all we had and all we knew, some people got lucky that way. Although it's like, I think Think and Grow Rich was written back in the 20s or 30s. You know, this stuff is not really new. Like Isis and Hathor were talking about this back in when the Egyptian pyramids were built. It's like, this is like every religion talks about this. It's like, this is the way spirituality is, this connection, this love connection. And we've been keeping it out of the business world because it was a little woo-woo. It was a little, you know, not unmasculine.
Right.
And thinking that business and money was this masculine thing, when really business is money, and money is the most feminine energy there is. It's connecting with other people. It's bringing in abundance. That's feminine.
Yeah. What if I heard something recently? It's about money is love.
Yeah,
so
it is.
If you look at it as it's love energy, then game changer.
Yeah, I did a thing a while back. I remember it's like, if I treated a boyfriend the same way I treat my money, would it stick around? And it was very obvious. I mean, I'm meeting money at the door going, where have you been? Why aren't you here? You're not here. Where have you been? Where's the rest of it? Like, what's going on? You're not enough. Literally, like,
wow.
Run for the hills. So
wow.
It is a relationship. It's an energetic relationship. And it's our energy. So when we say, where have you been? There's not enough. That's lack. That is that below what I call the line energy. That is that lower vibration.
Yeah.
And it's like, when you focus on what you don't have, when you focus on lack, you get more lack.
Yeah.
So same thing in a relationship. If you're focusing on what someone's doing wrong, quote unquote, or bad,
yeah,
that's just going to expand. They may not even change what they're doing, but it's totally going to expand in your mind. You know, that toothpaste is being squeezed from the middle again. It's like, it becomes this thing. It's not really a thing.
Yeah.
Or
so
when you first met them, you were like, oh, isn't that cute? They squeeze their toothpaste from the middle. That's so, when you're in love, everything's wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, so true. I love it.
Nothing is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everybody should have that conversation in their mind of how they treat money.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's huge.
Like, that is, I mean, even when you were saying it, I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Write a letter to Dear Money, and then tell Money what you feel about it. It'll start coming out. Yeah. I love you where I am. You know, it's like, yeah. But I love you. You know, it's like, who wants a partner that all you did was point out every day their fault? It starts to grow.
Yeah.
Even with things like how we feel about our bodies, you know, it's like, if we notice that stomach area is roly-poly and we don't feel good when we look at it, so we keep noticing it, it's going to be really hard to have it feel okay about, you know, letting you have what you want while you're doing that. I mean, even if you eat right and exercise, it's going to be that stubborn, you know.
Yeah.
You're being stubborn. Like, what partner wants to hear that?
Yeah. Mm. I love it. It's such a complete shift and change in the whole dynamic of your relationship with anything, including,
Exactly.
I love that you even talked about it with your health,
Yeah.
because we've all been there, and we're like our own worst enemy. And if you're constantly noticing the negative or the bad, why would it ever leave? It's constant top of mind.
Exactly. I noticed too, there's a little more cultural junk on doing that with your health than with your money. Money, it's like, it feels like it's more outside us. We think of our health as like, well, don't make me feel guilty because I'm sick. It's like, that's not it. It's not, the guilt and shame and blame can't be a part of the love. It's not.
Right.
But the very guilt about being sick is the part that could be keeping your body thinking that all is not well. Your body takes messages from you. You're the one that sends its messages. And just looking at the adrenaline, that cortisol versus the good. I just wrote all this down because it was like so interesting to me. I just read it. It was like the hormones when your emotions are high heal, regenerate, energize your body, youthfulness. It does all that. When you feel stressed, bored, irritated, angry, depressed, all of that releases the stress hormones that break down your body, shut down your immune system. It's so we are a little in control of some of that, and I'll just say it. We're completely in control of it. You may get messages, but and there's so much momentum though. Once it's caused something in your body, now there's all this momentum around it. So it's just like this, the same thing with money.
Yeah.
If you've been living in and out of poverty, it's like there's a lot of momentum around that. So you either have to be super consistent on cleaning it out, or you've got to have a shift, one of those big aha moments that makes a new pattern for you.
Yeah. So good. I think one of the best analogies I've heard that made me think of it when you're talking is people that have lived in and out of poverty and they win the lottery. That money's gone. Doesn't matter the amount. That money is gone really quick, and sometimes they're even in a worse position than when they had won it.
Yeah.
And it's because of that mindset and that they don't understand that relationship and what to do with it. They never had it like that before, so they just don't know how to handle it.
Exactly. That's why sometimes when someone has been like that, it's better for little bits to begin coming in and let them get used to that before they move up, because
it's like calibrating.
It is calibrating. That's an awesome word for it. It's totally that. And if they can recalibrate their brain faster, they can allow more in faster and be able to handle it and continue to move up. That's why you see people, I used to have this I had this total pattern of get a lot of money and lose it all. And it wasn't like I lost it, but didn't know where it went. Oh, the car would break down, or somebody got really sick, or, something would happen where my money needed to be spent. So I would do this. Oh, I'm glad I have it. But then it was gone.
Right.
And I was right back. So all of us can see our patterns in the past. And if we don't do something to shift out of the past reality and shift into that vision, our future reality, your now is one of the two. You are either living in your past reality or your future reality. And you're choosing every moment. When you're aligned, you're in your future reality. When you're feeling bad and you're not, you're in your past reality. And each of us are doing that. And if we can begin to acknowledge that and see that and start doing pieces on that, we can begin to shift forward and change our lives drastically. I had a drastic life change around a couple of subjects last year. It's like when COVID hit And I was in Vegas, and Vegas wasn't Vegas anymore. I was just living in a suburb. Not that there's anything wrong with suburbs. I've lived in them and loved them, but that's not what I wanted at the time, right? And I was like, okay, and I can't even go outside because like it's just like there's nothing to do. And that's when I started like craving grass and trees and birds again. You know, we don't have birds in Vegas because there's not big trees. It's really weird. There's not a lot of birds. I was like missing it. That's when it was like, oh, I want to go back to Texas. And I never thought I would come back, but it was the land that I really wanted. And that really shifted me into, oh, I get to be wherever I want to be, whenever I want to be there. And that shift occurred. Then this next one was when this fall, I had done all this work this summer on these things we're talking about. And I finally gave myself permission to completely live that way. It was like, I'm going to la to anybody that's saying anything and just do it. Within days, my business shifted. Money started coming in. I did a launch in this way, 6-figure launch. I'd never done a 6-figure launch. Then kept working. The next one was a 6-figure launch, even more, but I decided I didn't really want to talk to any more people. I liked who I had. I didn't even follow up after and still did it. It's like, the clients were awesome. Everything, it was like, oh my gosh. But it came from this radical decision to understand it's my control. It's my power to do what I want, and it's my choice. And if I will just continue to notice how I feel, I can begin to shift out of this. So sometimes it's a drastic shift, and then sometimes it's kind of over time, a calibration shift. I love that word. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good word. It makes perfect sense to calibrate to each level. And that's a great way to even look at it for your quarters through your business.
Exactly.
You're calibrating each quarter
absolutely
to this next level and scaling, because then you don't
about going to the next, I call them floors. Like there's a building and ground floor is kind of neutral. Parking garage is not feeling very good, and everything up. So you start off on a floor and you jump to the next, but you've got to calibrate to living there, right? Or you keep going back downstairs.
Yeah.
So it is about doing that. And that's the consistent work each quarter. That's what you're looking at. And as you're moving along, you make a vision for the year, not knowing how it's going to get there. You make a vision for the quarter, no idea how that's going to happen. And as you begin to make choices about what you want to do, it begins to happen in that way.
Yeah, I love it. I want to say real quick when you were talking, I thought of a great analogy for that. When we were all starting to get into the work world, didn't matter where you worked at, could have been a fast food restaurant, the mall, whatever. The first 3 months, what are you doing? You are on point. You're on time. You are like the best employee ever. By that second quarter, you've already figured out how much extra time you can squeeze in for lunch, how often you can go squeeze in a bathroom break, what you can get away with, because you've calibrated to that level. But the difference is now you want to calibrate to keep raising it.
Exactly.
Not going the other way where it's comfortable.
How to stay here. You're really wanting to go to, how do you go from starting a business to making it a 5-figure business, to making it a 6-figure business, to making it a 7-figure business? Like, how do you do that? And it's like it's letting go of how do you do that and making that be how you feel, that energetic calibration. Yeah. And so each time we're really focused on how we're feeling. That's the most important thing. That is always the next right action.
I love it.
To notice how you're feeling.
I love that. Now that we are well into the second quarter, how do you start helping people now? I know you had your process that you helped them go through, but if somebody was just watching this for the first time and learning about this,
right,
what would you say to them right now?
Well, the first thing would be to really kind of start getting used to watching how they feel and how they're planning. Are they debriefing, getting rid of all of that? Are they noticing how they feel, not staying attached to outcome, inspired action only? That's kind of the first. But for the program that I have, there's not a specific thing you do in Q1 of the year. It would be your Q1 in the program, right? Like, so you would just start wherever you are and go to your own next level, which is the thing that's so awesome, because as we're sovereign individuals, you also are sovereign CEO of your business. So you decide if you could have anything you want this quarter, what would that be? So your vision becomes that. How does that make you feel when you think about it? Oh, excited. Awesome. Your job is to get excited as much as you can all day. Well, what do I do right now? Whatever you want to do.
Oh, I love it.
That begins the whole patterning of how do I do that? What are my steps? And continuing to kind of learn about it so you understand it, so you have some leverage and begin to up level on that way.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So really, you can walk in the door and make these decisions at any time during the year, any quarter, any week within that quarter, and just start where you're at. And I love that, because that's putting you in that power position to start changing and shifting in your business. Fantastic.
For sure. And I think it is giving yourself a 90-day or a 13-week period of time to make those shifts within. Is this nice chunk of time that when you get to your fiscal year, you can begin to see what happened in each of those quarters to get you to that vision you had of your year.
So good. And it breaks it down so you can track it in such a simple way, and even have these minor shifts.
Exactly.
Calibrating.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. It's really, and it's fun.
Keyword. It's fun. It's exciting.
Yeah.
I love the idea of, if you just step into the space of, okay, I'm breaking it down into quarters. I'm starting where I'm at.
Yes.
Start making those minor shifts, calibrating, up leveling, scaling. Oh my God. By the end of the year, even if you're starting in this moment.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Your success level is going to be through the roof. You're going to hit numbers you never knew you could.
I start literally October, November, December, fourth quarter of the year, right? The fourth quarter of the year, I ended up with sales of, what was the total? 160,000.
Awesome.
Right? Like fourth quarter. The other quarters, not so much. I had just rebooted my business, and then COVID hit and I shut it down, and I had just rebooted it again. It's like a little here, and a little here and there. But fourth quarter totally made the goal that I wanted that year. Yeah. In 1 3-month period of time. Yeah. But I was doing all that work during the years. Like, I was beginning to shift. I was doing those pieces. It definitely was, the momentum was building towards it. Mm-hmm. And then the decision got made, and then it was like, just take off. But it doesn't, it's every quarter has been like, it's just now this quarter was like this, and we're already starting this quarter like this. So it's really exciting. Numbers I used to say in a dream are numbers I'm working with. Yeah. Numbers I used to say and giggle are in my vision for this year. So it's
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's so good. And I really like to, before we close up, I wanted to go back and touch on how you sat there and really felt what you wanted next, even with your move from Vegas. And you can do that in all parts of your business, in all parts of your life, because you deserve to live exactly how you want to.
Everybody does. Everybody does, because we don't really earn that right. It's just given.
It's
by
given.
Being born, you get to create the life you want. Like, it's just kind of given. And so do with it what you want to be doing with it. Yeah. And really, I think the biggest shift that someone could make today would be to start questioning whether they really want to do that next thing they're about to do.
Oh, so good. Yes. I can feel that inside me. Like, woo. Yeah, I got chills. Like, so much power within that.
It is. It is.
You really, really, really are taking back your power when you go, is that my next step?
Yes.
And like you said earlier, be in the emotion of it, feel it already, and that will help you make that decision of whether you really want it or not.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Just freaking awesome.
Well, it's been really cool because I think, it was probably about this time last year when we first started talking about this. And then it was in the summer that, that it was like, you've really been here with me hearing my, like, I think I want to do this and we could do that. Then it was like, we're going to do this. It's like, we did it.
Yeah. You just kept making that and it just kept happening.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, I keep going, we have these amazing conversations. You should come back on this show and let's talk about it. But every time, so full of wisdom. Yeah. Every time we're talking about things that can help people literally today start making that change.
Yeah. Like you said, in every area of their life and business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So powerful. I love it. I love it. So good. You're amazing. How can people get a hold of you?
My website is darladelaine.com. Okay. And then I'm Darla Delane on Instagram, Facebook, all those good places.
darladelaine.com. Yeah. Is that right? Darla?
Yes.
darladelaine.com. Yeah, I want to make sure I put it up there. They can find you, darladelaine.com. Darla Delane everywhere on social media. Absolutely brilliant. I like, woo! Let's see what I can go do today. I love it. You can go. I have my Unleash Your Inner Goddess virtual summit coming up. You can go there. It's free. 21 women, 21 days, 21 gifts.
Gonna be awesome.
Don't want to miss this. The stories, their wisdom, their passion, profound what they've gone through and are sharing their messages. And you can always go to KimberlyACoaching.com to find out what I've got